All right, so what you see here are two idols. This is newer. It is of Kali. I had already posted about my idol from Varahi, taken from the readings of the book from the Sepulchre Society. I had started doing like 1,000 repetitions a day on this, and I kept that up for quite a while. Until I was literally told to stop because it was going to interrupt some of the energies I needed for my particular growth at that point in time with other entities. And so I have a tendency to listen to things like that. It's kind of smart if you do. You could not, I don't care. But the typical way of keeping track of things like this are malas. 108 beads worth, on a string. That's not always convenient though. So even when I was doing my Varahi mantra, I would literally be using like tick marks, 10, 10, 10. And I could get interrupted at any moment. And so I had to kind of like remember how many I'd done before that. And usually we can do that. We understand that depending on the stress levels of the day, things like that. But there's an easier way. Now we come to Kali. I had actually met Kali a couple of years ago. I wasn't particularly told to call her. I did. It was accepted. But now it's a little bit different. I do mantras to Kali every day. And so I had to kind of come up with a new way of doing it where I can't exactly use a mala. This is yak bone, if you're wondering, in the shape of skulls. And I don't necessarily want to use tick marks on post-it notes at work because technically that's, in my case, that's government property, right? So what am I going to do? Well, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I typically take an ergonomic break daily if I can, schedule allowing. There's a little route I have mapped out, and I figured out a way to do it with my hands. And so that's why we are seeing this video right now. All right, so you're going to have, I don't care which hand you have, but in my case, this is my repetition hand, my immediate repetition hand. This is my longer repetition hand. So they can go both like this. They can. Makes me look normal, natural. Go like this is fine, but I don't want to go like this because that's how I keep track, right? And so what happens is like this. You hold your hands like this. Om Kali Ma. Thumb goes in. Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. You've got 5 repetitions right there. Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. And at this point, I curl the pinky in. Doesn't have to be big like this. You can do all of this just like this. Which means if I'm walking along, nobody's going to notice. My practice is still private. And that's exactly why I'm making this video. So, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. This finger comes up. Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. This finger goes down. The rest of them are cupped naturally. This one is just more inner like this. Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma, Om Kali Ma. You see? So if I'm walking along like this, which is, in my case, I work along a lot of military people, and this is a standard handhold for them, you can go along unnoticed. But this, all this hand is down. We've done 50 repetitions at this point. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. However you do this sequence is up to you. I don't care. Then we'll start the other route. Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima. Breathe. Do your repetitions correctly. Om Kalima, Om Kalima, Om Kalima. See what I mean? Or just go like this. They're no longer touching. You can do this repetitiously. Nobody has to know. Om Kalima, 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 Om Kalima. You see what I mean? So by the time you've done enough to go like this, and all your hands like this, you've got your 100 repetitions. Are there many of us that can't count to 8 with one hand? Om Kalima, 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 Om Kalima. So there you go. That's what I use. And again, if your hands are at your sides, nobody's really going to be looking at them. They're going to be looking at you. And if you're doing it quietly and not looking like, you're about to massacre the entire site, you should be good. So that's a way you can get your reps in. You can use a similar thing if you in fact you could do this throughout your work day. Say you have 5 minutes here, do your thing, and then make a motion of it, somewhere, Gmail draft. You put just put a 1, right? Nobody's gonna care what you're doing. You can put something banal below it, like pick up groceries or something, but that's a way you could keep track of your repetitions, especially if you're going into the 10,000 repetition range within a very confined space of time. I would encourage you to do something like that. People aren't going to notice if you're going like this, because you're not, with the longer ones that I think most people would really do and benefit from the hand things from. You're not going to be going like this and look like an idiot, right? You're not. You can't go that fast, right? So consider using that approach for your repetition needs, for your mantras, that will enable you to keep track of doing them, especially if, say, you take an ergonomic break, which you probably should if you can, and just walk around the building. How many of those can you do? Om Kalimas. It doesn't take very long at all. Now, there are other things in play, like when you're saying Om Kalima and this and that, but that's different. We're talking about the technique of stating the mantra and keeping track of it, because you can literally walk back to your desk with something like this, right? Or equivalent if you want to do it like this, because you need to interact with things like, elevator or something like that. And that means something to you, but it doesn't necessarily violate anything else, right? Now, I work in a lockdown facility sort of thing, so I have to be conscious of that. But this is actually really beneficial, because right now, if I look at this I can stop right now. And as long as I keep my hands like this, or remember, go back to this. What does that tell me? That tells me I've done 30 repetitions of whatever my mantra is. So that's actually really, really beneficial. Really easy. Doesn't involve paperwork. And you could do it. You could do it on a walk. You could do part of on your walk into work. If you were to assign 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you could do a numerical system and say 1, 6, and all of a sudden you've got 16 repetitions that are waiting, right? In my case, it's 10 or 5, 6, whatever it is for you, right? So you can make that work for you. But I wanted to go ahead and present that because some of us do work in corporate environments. Some of us work in environments that are recorded 24/7. And all our fingers go like this. So there is still a way to do it. Of course, if security asks, fine, just tell them. It's like, hey, look, religious thing, spiritual thing, whatever. But if you don't want to keep track of, if you're doing like a 10,000 repetition thing, within like 30 days, and you don't want to alert your coworkers that maybe you're a bit more spiritual than they suspect, like me, start using your hands. Because then you can just like make a note, even in like a Gmail or something similar, that they may or may not see. Bam. 108 done here, or just 100 done here, 100 done here, 100 done here. So consider it. There you go. I wanted to go ahead and share that. It's not like earth shattering, but Om Kalima. Or when I get done with that, I typically do Om Krim Kali, Om Krim Kali, Om Krim Kali, Om Krim Kali, Om Krim Kali. But that can differ a little bit because sometimes she wants targets involved with that, where to direct that energy, right? So I would encourage you to use the sort of like numerical system, if you will. Of course, it's 10 based. That's probably not right, but some mathematician's going to come on here. It's like, where really it's 2 base times something. Hey, look, man, I'm not a mathematician, but this works. This works in corporate environments. But to be honest, I typically curl these under because I can, if I remember, last 2, I can shake a hand and it doesn't matter because I remember, last 2. So we usually don't, at least in the Western world, we don't have problems with shaking with the left hand. We can. I have, especially with people with issues. I've done it myself. If that's what they offer, that's what I do. But I'm typically not in the place where this hand, although I'm left-handed actually, gets looked at as much as this hand, because this is the weapon hand of the world, right? So, I hope you found this informative. I hope it was valuable. It is a way to use mantra in any form. There are angelic mantras out there. It doesn't matter. You can use the same thing with demonic ends, angelic mantras. You can do any of that. And you can count them all right here. And you could even bring a pen if you wanted to, just mark yourself right there. And you don't have any else but, oh, yeah, so sorry, I was signing this thing and I marked myself, right? So you have deniability. So consider that, get familiar with it if you're going to go down a mantra route. And I would say enjoy, but that's really what the benefits of the mantra are for, right? Take care.